Oh, good morning, everyone. Grace and peace to you. Welcome to Find the Intersection. Today's Bible passage is Isaiah chapter 43, verses 1 to 7. Isaiah 43, 1 to 7. If you haven't checked that passage out yet, pause the video, go read it in a couple translations, and then come back and let's talk about it. All right, so Isaiah 43, 1 to 7. Share your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and let's learn from one another. So the context of this passage is Isaiah is writing to the Israelites who are in captivity in Babylon. So they're exiles. They're not home. And so that's the context of this passage. And they do, of course, get back to Jerusalem. But in this particular time, everything that they know has been taken away from them. So their home, their temple, their possessions, and the remnant of people have been are in Babylon. All right, so a few things that jumped out to me. Actually, the first two words of this passage in Isaiah 43, 1 to 7, in the New Revised Standard Version says, "But now." And I really like what that is saying, because in chapter 42, there's this warning of condemnation because of their sin. And then in 43, it's a transition point that says, "But now." What was is changed to "but now." What was once before is no longer because of "but now." And so I really like that transition point, and I love to apply that to my life. I used to be this one way. I used to deal with these particular things, but now, because of what God has done, He has set me free. He has changed my life. He has healed me. He has done all these things. And just as He's done for the Israelites, He has done for me. So I love those words, "but now." I think great transition point, and that'll preach. Number two is in this passage, Isaiah says, "Do not fear," twice. And I think that's significant because a group of people in exile, in bondage, they would have had, they would be afraid for their lives. And God is speaking to them as they're loved by God. God cares for them, and He's telling them, "Do not be afraid. Do not fear." And I love that. I mean, I think that's incredibly important for us today, is to be reminded not to be afraid, not to fear the things all around us that are out of our control, the things that are going against us, taking away, whether that's our time or taking away our relationships, our finances. We need to put our trust in the Lord. It says in this passage, "Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, and you are mine." And I love that. God has called Israel, created Israel. In the first verse, it says, "I created you, I formed you, O Israel. Do not fear, for I've redeemed you. I've called you by name, you are mine." Great, powerful assurance to the Israelite people that God is faithful to His promises. And I believe we can personalize that today and know that God is faithful to us. He has called us by name. He has created us, and He has formed us. Do not fear is the second thing. And the third thing is the reference to waters. "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you." This great connection to baptism, what we talked about on Monday and Tuesday, but this refers to the Exodus, when God released the Israelites out of Egypt, and they went through the Red Sea, and God was with them through the waters. "When you pass through the waters, I'll be with you." And that's reference to the Exodus. And I believe when Jesus was baptized, that was the beginning of a new Exodus, that God is setting us free from the things that bind us, the idols that we're chained to. And so we have been set free from the sin that entangles us. So those are three things that jumped out to me in this passage: the "but now," do not be afraid, do not fear, and the baptism, Exodus, new Exodus. I'd be very curious to what God spoke to you or showed you in this passage. There's so much here, We could go on and on and on and on, but I don't want to babble anymore. So I hope you have a great day today. Share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know that you're out there, you're reading, things like that. And I'll see you tomorrow as we talk about the Psalm. And then on Friday when we put it all together and talk about the intersection. Grace and peace, everyone. Take care.